I think we ready. I think we good. Let's bring this in right. Yeah. 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 Y'all already know what time it is. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined with my brother from another mother. Blood come make us any closer. The co-host, one of the best photographers in the world. My brother Santana, say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere tonight, but y'all here with us, and we appreciate that. And just for that, we're about to get into it. You know, we got a jam-packed show, so let's get it.
Whole facts, y'all. Again, we on the road to 20,000 subscribers for this channel. We're a little over 10,000, so we almost near. I think we're like 200 short of 11,000 subscribers already. So let's continue to support, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Don't be afraid to share the rewatches as well. Like I said, we love, and that's how this channel continues to get built. Yo, shout out to some of the day ones already in the building. They in here packed. Let me shout out to some of the day ones already in the building. Some of them already got their badges, man. Shout out to King Prince, of course. Shout out to Ernesto Hernandez. Shout out to Culture Talk in the building. Treeman Lions, Ebony Fire. Who else we got? I feel like I'm missing somebody else. Winter in the building. Again, thank y'all for tapping in as always. Continue to support with the growth of the show. You see it show by show. We continue to grow. So again, thank you. Y'all telling people. So, again, the word is getting out more and more. So you've been seeing the growth in the show on the lives, haven't you, bro?
Yeah, most definitely.
So again, we appreciate y'all for the support. Uh I feel like I'm missing one last announcement, but let's get it started, man. Let's get it started. Y'all already know first segment of the night, popular opinions. And again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers and the questions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. You could go to Instagram right now at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. First popular opinion questions of the night. And again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. So you got to stick to the answers in the question. Can you tell them again one more time, Santana? They got to stick to what?
Gotta stick to the questions in the. Gotta stick to the answers in the questions.
Factory, please. All right. All right. First popular opinion question of the night. You can only pick one. You can only pick one. Number one, 250K right now. Number two, pay no more taxes ever. Number three, a six-figure job. Number four, unlimited food. So for those who didn't hear it again, 250,000 right now. Number two, pay no taxes. Number three, and that's pay no taxes ever. Again. Number three, six-figure job. Number four, unlimited food. Let me know what y'all think in the chat.
Give me that 250 right now.
That 250 on? You want that
Yeah, right
250 on?
now.
Why the 250?
Because it's right now. Give me that 250 right now. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. All right. Ain't nothing wrong with getting 250 right off the back. Um, this one is tough because that pay no more taxes ever would hit different for for old Ash. You know what I'm saying? Uh, whew, mm. I'm gonna go with pay no taxes, bro. I'm gonna go with pay no taxes because that would. No. I'm gonna go with the 250 right now. I'm gonna go with the extra 250 right now because I can leverage that in a way where I won't miss the taxes that I gotta pay on the 250. So yeah, I go with the 250. I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I was gonna go with pay no taxes ever, You see what I'm saying? So I can't pay no taxes ever. But I'm agree with you going 250 right now because I could take that bread and basically alleviate all the other taxes. You see what I'm saying? And then funnel that into something else that I share with y'all on a later date. When we qualify you, you know what I'm saying? So me personally, I go with 250 right now. My brother went with 250 right now. In the chat, what they going with in the chat? I haven't seen much in the chat. Uh, pay no taxes. Let us know what y'all think in the chat. Let us know what y'all think in the chat. Well, while we're waiting, okay. Again, I went with paid no. I went with 250 right now. My brother went with 250 right now. In the chat, they went with paid no taxes. The rest of the world at 43%. You would not believe this. Went with unlimited food. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm not mad at it. When you know you not have to worry about food, that's like a less stress. You could just worry about other shit. You know what I'm saying? When you know you got mad ham hocks and pig feet in the fridge, you good. You know what I'm saying?
Yellowtail crab legs and all
All
that.
that. You know what I'm saying? Tilapia and catfish. You know what I'm saying? From Lake Varnell and all that.
What Martin say? I don't live. No, I don't eat to live.
You got
No, I think I messed it up. He said I don't live to eat. I don't eat to live. I live to eat. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Martin with that quote. But that do make sense because people work to buy food, pay their rent, and depending on the city you live, if you need a vehicle or not. So that would make sense. You just alleviated something incompletely, but you're paying taxes on that food though. But it's still unlimited food. So I ain't mad at that myself. All right, moving on to our next popular opinion question. I'm gonna need my sounds for this question right here. Let me pull this up. Uh Okay, let me see. Okay. So, best 80s commercial jingle on this list. Best 80s commercial jingles on this list. And I have some of the jingles in hand. So, just in case some people needs to remember, I got something in my eye crazy. Pause. All right. So, number one, I don't know if you're going to remember this right off the back, though, bro. All right. So, number one, Mount Airy Lodge. Number two, West County Fair. I'm sorry, Westchester County Fair. Three, Flintstone Kids. Number four, Milford Plaza Hotel. Now, just to give y'all a little, just to, so y'all remember. So number one was Mount Airy Lodge, and it went something like this.
Oh yeah, I remember Mount Airy.
So that's Mount Airy Lodge. The Westchester County Fair went like this.
I don't remember Westchester County Fair.
Don't miss the Westchester County Fair at Yonkers Raceway, ending this Sunday. See the largest circus under the big top. So that's the Westchester County Fair. The Flintstone Kids is this.
Maybe a little bit.
And the last one was Milford Plaza Hotel.
Nah, the only one I could say I remember is the Mount Erie Lodge, son.
Now, again, I'm a TV baby. I grew up in front of that TV. I remember all of these right off the back for me personally. You said you only remember the Mount Airy Lodge. You don't remember the
Mhm.
Flintstone Kids Too Tough?
Not too tough.
Okay, so which one, from what you just heard, was the best commercial jingle? Because this is when jingles used to be. This used to make or break your empire back in the 80s.
The one I remember, the Mount Erie Lodge.
That Mount Airy Lodge. That Mount Airy Lodge. Me personally, I'm going to have to agree with you because the Mount Airy Lodge, it just had that oak, that coal, that feel to it, and then just the commercial itself was popping because they all at the lodge, and it just seemed like it's a place to be at. And being from the hood, I ain't gonna hold you. Like growing up watching, like I don't mean to just, I'm not discriminating, but seeing the white brothers all at the lodge with their boo thing, sipping hot cocoa. I was kind of jealous because we wasn't gonna get the opportunity to hit the lodge. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, the Mount Airy Lodge for me is the best one. And obviously the jingle, I think has the best jingle overall. But all these jingles is top tier. Like you can't mention the best jingles ever in the world without mentioning these right here. Like these on a whole nother level. So I went with Mount Airy Lodge. My brother went with Mount Airy Lodge. In the chat is different answers. The rest of the world at 39% went with the Milford Plaza Hotel. What do you think about that?
Like I said, I don't even remember that commercial, so I can't even, you know what I'm saying? I can't even comment on it.
Yeah.
Only one I remember is Mount Erie Lodge.
Yeah, all these used to hit though. All these used to hit. But shout out to the 80s was a different time where they actually used to use commercials and all that to really promote their products. That was just like a different time. So all right, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because Hollywood has been giving us a whole lot of movies with no originality, no type of interest really. They just throwing movies at us. So we came up with the segment. We got better ideas for movies and TV shows or series. You want to start this one off?
All right. I want to see Hollywood definitely need to make a documentary on what was the reasons behind creating the missing children's on the milk cartons, and was that effective when that was around at the time, and then why did they stop doing it?
Mm,
Because it's a strange time when in the 80s, late 80s, to have uh, pictures of missing children on milk cartons. So I wanted to know what was the reason behind it. Did they help find any of these missing children? Where are these children now to this day? Did you know what I'm saying? Are
update.
their cases closed? Like what's going on with all this technology and all these new age, uh, new age style of doing things? I'm pretty sure we can close all these cold cases, give these a lot of these families reprieve and results on a lot of these missing cases. So I would love to know what happened with those missing childrens on the milk cartons.
Hmm. That'll be fire. The updates, because it used to be rampant. It used to be rampant. So I remember exactly that time and period. So we want to know the updates. Are they real cold cases, or you know, did it ended in a special way, or in a happy way? So on a happy note. So that would be dope. All right, my Hollywood need to ask us. I would love to see the U.S. Dream Team of '96. I know people like to talk about the '92 team with Magic and Jordan and Bird and all those guys, but that '96 team was pretty special as well. They had the Gary Paytons and Shaquille O'Neal's, like Hakeem Olajuwon's, Grant Hill. Like that team was also very fire. The players and Penny Hardaway. This is when Penny was Penny. So that team right there was really great, and I would love to see a movie, a actual movie based on the night that particular team and that era of time. Mind you, '96 was probably the best NBA draft we had that year. When you had, I mean, ever in the NBA, when you have Iverson, or arguably Iverson, Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Antoine Walker, Ray Allen, Kerry Kittles, Marcus Camby. I mean, that class alone, Peja Stojakovic, that class alone was so special. So going from the rookie class to the dream team, but the dream team in particular to me, I think will be fire. And seeing like these characters how they act, behind the series, but having characters that actually play them. You get what I'm saying? They not playing
Mhm.
themselves, so it'll be a theatrical movie on that '96 Dream Team. What do you think about that?
Kevin Garnett definitely gotta narrate that shit, son. Dead
Fire.
ass. He's the best narrator for it, son. That'd
And
be
it's crack.
too be lit. Too funny, son. Oh, it would be too funny. I want to see scenes at the hotel room and stuff. Arguments that was going on in the hotel room and shit. That's
Yeah,
what I want to see. And practice.
yeah. It's cracking, Lord. It'd be like it's cracking, Lord. So shout out to Kevin Garnett, but I think it would be such a great thing to see, and the interest alone would be fire. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. How I'm sorry, our must see segment: must see movies, must hear music, must watch TV show, documentary, or stand up. You want to start this one off?
Now you can go ahead.
All right, so my three must see movies, y'all. Y'all gotta see these. These are super fire. My first must see came out in 2024. It's directed by Jeff Fowler. This stars Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, Kristen Ritter, James Marston, Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, and Tika Sumpter. This movie is called Sonic 3, the third installment of Sonic. The first two are fire. My only nitpick with the Sonic movies is that they a little heavy handed on the corn.
Mm-hmm.
And the corn is really between the humans. It's dope with Sonic, the animation, it looks amazing. Dr. Robotnik, the portrayal by Jim Carrey is special. He is cooking in Sonic. In all the Sonics he's cooking. But they're heavy handed with the corn, with the basically the guardians of Sonic in the real world. It's that interaction's a bit heavy handed on the corn. That's my only nitpick of Sonic 1, Sonic 2. Sonic 3 is fire. They introducing, you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. I thought I was gonna ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all go see Sonic 3. My second must-see movie came out in 1996, directed by Richard Pierce. This stars Richard Gere, Kim Basinger, Jerome Crabb, and William Atherton. Look at that cast. That cast right there, chef's kiss. Pause. This movie is called No Mercy. Fire, top tier, slept on movie where you have a cop in Chicago who he's working on his big case. His partner ends up going to the hotel, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. Again, make sure y'all tap in to see No Mercy. Third must see movie came out in 1996, directed by Spike Lee. This stars Spike Lee, Tracy C. Johns, Tommy R. Hicks, Joe Lee, and John C. Terrell. This movie is called She's Gotta Have It. Fire. This movie put Spike Lee on the map. Classic movie. And for those who feel like they know the name Tracy C. Johns, is because she played Uniqua in the movie um damn in New Jack City. She played the character that was, basically that pulled apart Nino Brown and G Money's character. So she's the lead role in this, where she's a young woman who has many suitors of men. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So again, make sure y'all tap in to see She's Gotta Have It, No Mercy, and Sonic 3. Any of those ring out to you?
Fire. She's gotta have it. Classic right there.
In black
Classic.
and white.
It's,
It's in black and white, y'all.
it's still a classic, you know what I'm saying?
Classic.
Chat, you know how I always do. I always got a theme for my movies. So last week was Vigilante season, and last week was Crash Out edition. But this week is Vigilante season Renegade edition. So these movies are based on the main character having an injustice done to them, and they want to go right that wrong. and they're not doing a crash out on any one of these. So their their mission is justified, as you would say. So you would have to see the movies to see if their movies to see if their path is justified. So the first movie on the list is called Faster. Came out in 2010, stars Dwayne Johnson, Billy Bob Thornton, Maggie Grace, Carla Gino, Bloodgood, Jennifer Carpenter, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Tom Berenger, Adelaide Ajibe, Mike Epps, Courtney Gaines, and Sydney Alufe. It's about two brothers that go on a robbery, and it's a robbery gone wrong. He gets set up, and you got to watch the movie to find out what happens. Fire movie right there. I think it's one of Dwayne Johnson's best movies.
Facts.
Next one on the list is called Count of Monte Cristo. Came out in 2002. Stars Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, Henry Cavill, Richard Harris, Louis Guzman, Marin Delvin, Henley McCoy, J.B. Blanc, and Christopher Adamson. About this dude in the 17th century who's an officer. He's about to come up. He got his young lady, and he got his mans, and everything's going right. He gets set up, and you gotta watch the rest of the movie to see if his path to justice is justified. So the last one on the list is Mad Max. Came out in 1979. Stars Mel Gibson, Hugh Keys Bryan, Joan Samuel, Steve Billsley, Jiv Perry, George Ward, Tim Burns, Lulu Pincus, Vincent Gill, Max Fairchild, David Brax, and Jonathan Hardy. It's about almost into a post-apocalyptic world. There's this police force that's trying to hold on to what's left of society, and we got this young Mel Gibson, him and his family living in this world. Something happens, and you gotta watch the rest of the movie to see what happens. Fire movie is definitely a classic right there. So my movies for Vigilante season Renegade Edition is Faster, Count of Monte Cristo, and Mad Max.
Make sure y'all watch these movies for 130 something episodes, 135 episodes, 136 episodes. We've been giving y'all fire top tier movies to watch. So make sure y'all tap in and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. We love the movie game. We grew up on the movies. A quick shout out to Biggs in the building for tapping in. Appreciate you. Brad Powers, Harris for tapping in. Sherman for tapping in. Who else? Who else? A few other people tapping in. A shout out to AM in the building. Shout out to Maurice Walls in the building. Shout out to S in the building. Sharon. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Shout out to Dominique in the building. Ivan tapping in. That's a lot of folks in here. Shout out to y'all tapping in. We appreciate y'all. And again, thank you again, King Prince, for that gifted. My guys keep cooking. I appreciate you. We appreciate you always. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must hear music. Again, my music that I'm putting y'all onto is at a different vibration. All right, these are the vibes that you need to get on. I'm starting to notice that, meaning in the sense where like when we have like music, music is subjective, but we need music that's going to add to the heart, to the soul, to the spirit. And this music I'm about to give y'all is going to add to the spirit, y'all. Trust me. My playlist, three must songs you must have on your playlist by this artist. I gotta go with Michael McDonald. Michael McDonald, bro. Going back to the you know what part of the reason why No Mercy is so popping at the end of the movie? Who do they play as the hero is walking off with the sugar wooger? They playing Michael McDonald. Class. It just made it a classic off the back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I gotta give y'all these three Michael McDonald records. All right, must have them on your playlist. And for those who don't know about Michael McDonald, trying to tell you. All right, so these three: Real Love, I Gotta Try, and Here to Love You. Again, put these on your playlist. Real Love, I Gotta Try, and Here to Love You. Thank me later. All right, moving on to our must-see classic TV show, stand-up, or documentary series. You want to start this one off?
All right, y'all. This one is a classic 90s style TV show. It's called Renegade. Came out in
I
1992, had
remember that.
5 seasons, and in 1997. It's about this guy who's set up for the murder of his girlfriend, and then he goes on a run. And every episode is him trying to solve that crime and right that wrong and bring the right people to justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Fire series stars Lorenzo Lamas, Bridge Combe Richmond, Kathleen Kinmont, Donna Fontaine, Sandra D. Robinson, Leah Remini, Jeffrey Blake, Leslie Donovan, Stephen Flynn, Kirk Kinder, and Stephen J. Campbell. Like I said, classic 90s, you know what I'm saying? Bro on the road, you know what I'm saying? Route 66 with his fucking Harley, you know what I'm saying? Mad leather, you know what I'm saying? Just solving crime and just trying to solve his own crime. It was just a fire show, son.
he
Lorenzo
rubbed his
Lamas was
leather
on his shit and he was kicking niggas' asses with them steel toe boots. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you,
with the
he
Spurs.
had great what you call Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks to the jawline. You know what I'm saying? Solving crimes, you know what I'm saying, in the deserts of Vegas and New Mexico and all that. So fire series. You gotta check it out. Classic 90s. Again, it's called Renegade, and you can check it out on Tubi because Tubi got everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm mad. Tubi got Renegade. I'm about to watch Renegade, dog. I want to see
Yo,
Spurs
the opening series of Renegade with the rattlesnake, son. Yo, you knew it was about to get busy, son.
the Spurs on the cowboy boots though. Like I'm watching
But he
Renegade.
on a bike though, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm dead. Y'all think I'm joking? I'm dead watching Renegade later. I didn't know Tubi done scooped up. Tubi on the
I don't
low,
know what
bro.
they got going on, but I don't know
Yo,
why we paying for all these streaming services when Tubi got it all for free.
yo, Tubi,
All
man.
for the email subscription, son.
They making it hard for a brother to hustle, man. Damn, Tubi, man. They got Renegade though. Now I gotta see if I can get Renegade on the jump. All right, y'all. So my classic must see TV show or documentary. Uh, a must see is called Winning Time. Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks 1995 Eastern Conference Finals documentary. Spike Lee actually did this documentary, and anybody that knows Spike Lee or heard of Spike Lee, he's the short, cultured man at all the Knicks games, or used to be at all the Knicks games. That's wearing nothing but Nick paraphernalia, or am I saying that right? No, when Knicks memorabilia. Um, and while other teams' best players will be cooking, he will be talking trash. I don't even understand how that his logic makes sense. Like, all right, you do that to no disrespect. You could do that to Scottie Pippen. You could do that to like guys who like that's not super score guys, but you don't do that to MJ. You don't do that to Reggie Miller, especially Reggie Miller in the Garden, and he was talking his to Reggie in the Garden, like, yeah, you ain't no Michael Jordan. And Reggie started cooking and kept cooking, which led to the term called Miller Time. And in them 90s, them Pacers, New York Knicks battles in the playoffs used to be must see TV. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but this is the reason why back in the days basketball is better than today's basketball. The reason why they point out the 90s so much is not necessarily because of Michael Jordan. Yeah, Michael Jordan was a psychopath. He wanted to murder everything moving. But guys like Reggie Miller, when they played in the Garden, and the New York Knicks, as hard nosed as they was, like this is bully ball. Like if you look at that roster, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Xavier McDaniels, They were on bully time, and I ain't gonna forget. I ain't gonna disrespect the OG Chris Childs, Mr. Two Piece himself. This used to be bully basketball. They used to have real rivalries in the NBA. So it was intriguing to watch. So seeing this documentary took me back to a place where I was like 8, 9 years old, watching Reggie Miller cook the New York Knicks. But it was the interaction, it was the in between the games that you just love. It was that passion. It was when Reggie Miller he had like I think he scored like 9 points in like 4 seconds. So it was something crazy, or 2 or 3 seconds, or something like that. It was something wild. It could have been 13 seconds. I could be wrong, but he scored mad wild points in a span of a small span, and those points mattered. It mattered. It was on the big stage. So this is a must see documentary. Again, it's called Winning Time. Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks, 1995 Eastern Conference Finals. It looked like you want to say something, bro, because it looked like this documentary is taking you back to a place also.
No, there was a dope time of basketball. Period. You know what I'm saying it's not the same no more. So it was a good time to go back and watch how basketball used to be because there's an era where you games barely even hit 100. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was such a rare thing that they made a joke about it on our show Martin because it wasn't such an occurrence where a game went past 100 points.
Right.
Barely that because it was just so much stuff going on. Like if you could barely get 100 now, these 140 to 132, like it's just crazy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Mhm.
back then it would be like 99 to 88, but they dropped 30,
Yeah.
somebody else dropped 25. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
But people were putting in work in during that time. So for that game, I think he did first. It was like he dropped the three, then they was trying to inbound the ball. He stole it,
yeah.
dropped another three. Then they tried to inbound the ball again. He stole it again, and then
Uh-huh.
dropped another three. It was just crazy around that time. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a dope. Definitely check that out. It was a dope series for that 1995 conference finals.
And then again, it's the fact that he did it, but it's when he did it. It mattered. Like it felt those games felt like life and death back then. You know what I'm saying? Like so you don't feel that now. Uh like how many times have you seen Reggie Miller and John Starks exchange jerseys? Never. But we see that all the time. So it's a must see. It's a must see. So make sure y'all tap in. You got cologne for us?
Definitely got cologne for y'all. If y'all look good, y'all feel good, y'all smell good, y'all gonna do good. This week, you definitely gotta tap into Burberry. The fragrance right now is Mr. Burberry. So you definitely want to tap into this one. Fire fragrance. Again, it's Burberry. And the fragrance again is called Mr. Burberry.
Make sure y'all get that Burberry. The goal is to get the woman. Smell good, feel good, and get the woman. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get classic movies, shows, documentary for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. First hot topic of the night, y'all. Oh, before we get into that, real quick, this is very important. RIP to Valletta Wallace, who happens to be the mother of the notorious B.I.G., better known as Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace. So I just want to send a quick shout out to Valletta Wallace, the mother of Biggie Smalls. Um, strong woman, educated woman, and just uh, loved her energy. And again, shout out to her. Rest in peace, sleep in peace, and nothing but love and respect for Miss Letta Wallace. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Big announcement. There's going to be a layoff of 15,000 IRS workers. What do you think about that, bro?
I mean, government employees, right? They weren't. I mean, it's hard out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's
You
all
weren't
I
doing your
hear.
job, apparently.
Hmm.
If you were doing your job, you're probably not going to be in that chopping block. So don't even worry about it.
That's a lot of layoffs. That's a lot of. That's 15,000. 15,000. Wow. Um, it's going to have an immediate effect. Obviously, with people, it's tax season and people trying to, put their taxes through. You could put your taxes through. It's going to hit somebody, but will it slow up tax season? Absolutely, absolutely. Is this kind of on purpose? Absolutely, absolutely. Because we're at a point in time in this country right now where we're doing a lot of discovery of the money. So because there's a lot of discovery of the money, some of these employees are falling into places where their position is going to be obsolete. And they're negating that right now by just doing layoffs. And whoever they're going to bring back for the program to, push whatever that needs to be push through for right now, and the other set of people they're going to bring back for their future programs, that's what they're going to do. But they want to make sure that the finance is there to cover their salaries, and we don't continue to spend any more unwanted money. We're trying to bring all the finances back, then redistribute. So it's going to have an immediate effect. People that's trying to get their taxes done, go to a tax professional. Stop going to H&R Block. Stop going to any of these places because, for one, they can't provide you with a full service. Number two, they cannot help put your stuff through faster. And number three, there's a different personal care that you're not receiving. So, with that being said, make sure you go to a real tax professional that know what they're doing, and be able to get your taxes done. So that way you can send your stuff in and you can get your refund back in suitable time. So I think it's a ripple effect, and it's going to be a bigger play at here with this. But it's going, laying these amount of people off. That's what the game plan is going to be moving forward. Anything else you want to add to that before we move on?
No.
All right. So moving on to our next hot topic, y'all. Kanye West faces backlash again for questioning if Cassie extorted Diddy with the lawsuit. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. It's Kanye. You know what I mean? It's controversy. That's all it's about. It's not to really make any sense of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A quick shout out to Gina Mend- Mendoza in the building. The real question is, should we have elected Kamala Harris? Oh, so that was for the last question. Sorry we missed your question when you asked. Um, no, we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have. That wouldn't have benefited what we're doing now at all. If she was to be elected, a lot of the policies that was pre-existing would have kept existing. We would have never had the Doge team to find the discoveries of the monies that was all over the place. We wouldn't have found out that they were spending over 900,000 on shrink bubble wrap for mental health. We wouldn't have found out there was another uh, 2.5 million going to transgender research in India and all these other uh, BS financial things that they say we're doing funding for, not to mention the billions of dollars that we was giving other countries every single year. So no, it would have been a grave mistake, and it would have made the economy even worse. Um, Back to the question. Uh, I agree with you. Kanye West, this whole thing to me is about publicity. When it comes to Kanye West, they want to beat up Kanye West because guess what? Kanye West has made himself a very easy target. He's made himself a very easy target because of the things that he say. People are going to write it off as it being crazy. Oh, he's just being Kanye. Now, when Kanye say and do things like this, he's just being Kanye. But real talk, the culture in itself, I mean, we don't care about no Cassie. We never have. The only reason why her story was of interest is because it went to the bigger story of taking down Diddy. Now, nobody's defending Diddy's action. What we saw on TV and on that video was disgusting. was absolutely disgusting. Should he be charged for something like that? Absolutely. I don't condone none of that type of energy or behavior. But that's not treat Cassie like she's a victim. The culture in ourselves, and I'm not just saying that for me, but the culture, meaning, and y'all know I hate saying the word black because that's not what we are. We're not three-fifths of a person or people. But the culture in itself don't care about Cassie because the culture believes that she signed up for all that happened to her, whether it was good or bad. She signed up for them freak offs. She signed up for that type of lifestyle. She had plenty of time to leave whenever she wanted to leave. So the culture in itself don't necessarily care about Cassie in that regard because there's been many reports said that was being said from the same people that said she was a contributor to beating Kim Porter, which happened to be, P. Diddy's ex-wife and mother of his children. They said that she was there as a key contributor of harming her, of abusing her. So the culture really don't care about Cassidy. It's just a bigger story on taking Diddy down. Do you believe that? That there's a bigger story ahead to take Diddy down? Pause.
I mean, it's just, I feel as that's more of a distraction, really, because if he's been doing this shit from the '90s, you know what I'm saying? It's like again just another distraction because it seems like all these billionaires do the same thing, and now they're just picking and choosing who they want to take down.
Hmm. That's a fact. So when we look at this situation with Kanye in itself, they're gonna write it up as it's just Kanye. So I mean, is he wrong for questioning that her move was an extortion tactic opposed to her being a real victim? Because with that $30 million, I mean, cool, right? But if it was really for the justice, then where are the care for other people who were abused? So supposedly that was abused. So that becomes in question in itself to me. So I get where Kanye is coming from, but I think people just write it up as this Kanye. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. A quick shout out to the Morgan State University gymnastics team. There's a video that went viral that they did some crazy move and it was fire. So shout out to the Morgan State University gymnastics teams. They doing it big time. I like that J on the hat. Little, okay. Yeah, nah, ain't no, nah. But I appreciate that Jacksonville, but the other part of that, yeah. My name is Ashley. All right, appreciate you though. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. President Trump signs an order to ban men from playing in women's sports and vows not to give Maine any federal funding if the governor Janet Mills uh, does not adhere to the rule change of men not playing in sports with the women in women's sports. What do you think about that?
It's just asinine that the mere fact that he had to put this in law goes to show you why the Department of Education has to go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the fact that he had to even do that just showcases like a lot of these programs have to go. So yes, I'm glad that that had to be put in there to let people know that that's not something that should have been even been a thought or something that everybody should have agreed upon. You know what I'm saying? We have men's sports and we have women's sports for a reason. They should not commingle at all because it's just not going to be the same thing. So just to have to put that on law is just crazy.
Hmm. Now you know what's interesting, right? So I don't understand why the men can't just play with the men and the women can't play with the women, right? But if you want a special exception, people who are transgender, why not start a transgender league? If it means that much to you to play with other people who are going through the same thing as you, why has that not become a thing? And I already know the answer to that, but that's the type of lane y'all should be focusing on. Just because you feel like a woman today, that don't mean you get to jump in the ring with this woman who's an actual woman, or get to play basketball with this woman. If you feel like a woman today, you need to play with other guys who feel like a woman today, and vice versa. So you don't see a lot of women who are trans and turn themselves into men. Like, yeah, I want to play college football now. I want to play with the college basketball players. You don't see that, but you see the men that that are transgender looking to play with the women. It's very weird. So if that's the case, if it means that much to you, then start a trans league. They did that with football. With football, there's actually y'all can look it up if y'all don't believe me. There's actually a gay league for the NFL. The NFL subsidized a flag football league that is for gay men. I can't make this up. Y'all can look that up right now. I'm telling you, when I tell y'all stuff, I'm not trying to prove nothing to y'all. I'm just giving y'all information. So if it mean that much to you, then start your own league. Simple and plain. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Freddie P, from the band, who's known from the band, artist from the band of uh, Diddy's Making the Band Season 2. Freddie P has come out and says that his former group member, Sarah Stokes, is lying about the allegations of P. Diddy. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's just again, we're not there, but it's just coincidental the timing. You know what I'm saying? It's just because if that happened that many years ago and you never mentioned it, brought it up, nothing, and then now all of a sudden it's just, you know what I'm saying, very questionable at best. And then at the same time, this is not somebody who is like outside of the circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is somebody in the inner circle who's part of the band, who's on the road with y'all, sleeping, you know what I'm saying, in
Mm-hmm.
the hotel room next to you. You know what I'm saying? So to say that he doesn't know what he's talking about is just, it's egregious at best. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm gonna kind of lean toward what Freddie P is saying, only because he's a band member and we watched the the episodes on Making the Band and literally was there when they was in the house in that, I mean, Making the Band crib.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the house too. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I'm kind of leaning towards what Freddie P is saying, and it's kind of more believable what he's saying.
This is interesting because he's the second band member to speak on this in particular. Because first it was Chopper, Young Chopper, Chopper City. He spoke on that he felt like she was lying because, and we spoke on it in the previous episode where he said there was plenty of times where they would all be downstairs chilling and relaxing. Diddy would come downstairs, ask her to come upstairs, and this happened on a very regular basis. Um, and then there was another incident where it was Sarah Stokes, and that he caught Sarah Stokes and Freddie, who we're talking about, Freddie P, doing their thing. So now Freddie P speaks on it, and he's saying he's not saying this to upset her. He's not saying this to upset her children because one of her daughters, Sarah Stokes, one of her daughters, came out and spoke and was speaking about this in favor of her mom. But you have people that was actually there, and Freddie P sentiment basically was your mom wasn't a hoe, but she necessarily wasn't a victim based on the energy that was around because P Diddy didn't carry himself that energy of sexual assault. That wasn't a culture at Bad Boy, at least in their presence. So if you was moving and grooving, then you was doing it at your own volition.
Mhm.
And this is what he said. He said, "My," and then being that it's coming from him, and being that it's coming from Young Chopper, that makes a difference for me. Because when people speak, the messenger matters, right? And the reason why I say them in particular, they don't speak favorably on Diddy when it comes to their life and their billings. I mean, their business dealings with P Diddy. They're saying for the sexual stuff, they didn't see that. They didn't. He always had chicks That none of that energy, they never even peeped, right? But when it came to the business, did he snake them out of millions of dollars? And did he gave them bad deals and contracts? They said yes. Was Diddy kind of like, was he more like hood than Flash? They said yes. But that was with business. It wasn't with sexual activity. Again, I'm not sticking up. I'm just setting the story straight based on what they said. What to that? What do you say?
Again, like I said, they both band members, so it's like their story's gonna have a little bit more credibility. You know what I'm saying than somebody else because
Hmm.
again, they were band members. So I'm gonna kind of lead towards what they're saying. And again, they had their own gripe and grievances with Diddy. So obviously, they're not trying to hold him to a steam or try to hold him up as well too. So it's not
Right,
the story is not to like put
right,
Diddy in a better light neither. So that's why
right.
I'm leaning towards what they're saying could be more credible.
Do you think it was a money play for Sarah?
Um, again, the timing is just basically on the timing. Again, I'm not gonna try to say that people's trauma. There's supposed to be a timing towards it. I'm not saying that, but also it just seems kind of thought out. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like, oh, this would be a perfect time for me to just slide in and try to get something. And it's like yeah, when sharks see blood in the water, they just come running. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think there's a difference between the timing and platform?
What do you mean?
So, because you just said it basically, right? The timing, right? Trauma does not have an expiration date, right? So you could have your trauma and deal with your trauma in peace, in private, where you tell the ones that you could gain perspective from to help you move forward. But you take that trauma and put it on a platform for profit. So that's why I'm asking, is it trauma or platform?
Again, that's not really up for me to debate on that, honestly, because it's really it's a debatable topic and it's not really up for me to do. But again, it's just based on timing, it just seems very questionable.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just based on the timing. That's all. Because and then on top of that, if it did happen all those years ago, there's nothing corroborating it as well, too. Like there's no police report, there's no statements, there's nothing. And
Right,
now all of a sudden it's just you coming out saying this happened to me all those years ago. Not taking away that it may or may not happen to you, but the mere fact that there's like no statements or nothing of the sort years ago to like be like, well, I said this years ago to this person, then it would be like, okay. But there's none of that neither. So it's like it
hmm,
just makes it all questionable at best.
yeah. And another interesting fact is she was married at the time. And not to say that it didn't happen, but if this thing happened, you would think that you would tell your life partner your trauma and what's going on. And there's nothing more, at least momentarily, than trauma when you, especially if you're in a turbulent relationship, nothing brings you more together than trauma that somebody else can help you defend. So if you have a turbulent relationship and you tell your significant other that another traumatic thing has happened to you, you would think you could tell them and y'all will bond to fight that because that's what really keep y'all together, the protection portion of it. So the fact that it seemed like she never shared this with, her ex-husband and all of a sudden this is coming out also gains more validity that did this really happen for real? And if it did, why was this done sooner in steps that benefited her? You see what I'm saying? Like the steps that would benefit her is her going to counseling. There's documents that she was going to counseling, but never made it, available to the public until now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, which one is it? All right, moving on to our next hot topic. I got a question to ask for this. Where is the Bronny James slander now? Because it's getting real quiet. Bronny James have been balling, like I've been telling y'all. So Bronny James last game had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. You had people like Stephen A. Smith that on his platform that says, the only reason why Bronny James is even in the league is because his father. He does not deserve to play in the NBA, at least as of right now. It's been quiet for a little while now. He's been balling out. So I'm like, what happened to the slander? Because I didn't go through this, but I went through the same thing in a sense where I was defending Victor Wembanyama. He was struggling the first few games. People was coming up to me like, "Yo, bro, what's up with Victor? I thought you said he was nice. I thought you said he was gonna be the one." I'm like, he's a young kid. He's a young kid. The franchise gave him the green light. You just got to give him time to grow. He's a young kid. And Victor Wembanyama is one of the best players in the NBA in just his first couple years in the league. Bronny James, I'm not saying Bronny James is going to be one of the best players in the league. That's not what I'm saying. But Bronny James is going to continue to prove that he belongs in the NBA. So, what you think of the slander that went through and him balling out now?
I mean, it's a typical slender that all melanin athletes always go through when commentators are the ones speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? But then
Mm,
when it's on the flip side, it's crickets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's all part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's all part of it because it's like you don't even give the kid a full season yet.
mm-hmm.
It's not even a full season. He just got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna measure his skill set if you don't even have a whole season to measure somebody? But as soon as it's 3, 4 games, all of a sudden it's all this hootenanny about like, damn, like let son and them cook real
Right.
fast. I'm saying let him get his, you know what I'm saying, get his shit off. Now he getting his thing off. Now all of a sudden everybody quiet. And it's just always the same ploys, always the same tactic when it comes to our athletes, our people. And it's just when Jalen Hurts he came into the league, they had all this talk. When he wins the Super Bowl, now it's all quiet. And it's like, yo, it's just corny. Like, is that what y'all gotta do to get ratings? It's like that's insane. If that's the case, I'm sure that these athletes don't never want to be in the same room with y'all when it's like outside. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a gathering or it's you know what I'm saying, a little a ball or something, and they run into you. They're gonna give you that look, like, let me come talk to you over here. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say last week? You know, sitting on that on ESPN. What was you talking about? So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird how y'all can do that and then not expect backlash later on. Like you ain't gonna get a phone call or somebody ain't gonna pull up on you. I don't get it, but it's just weird. You know what I'm saying?
Not to switch gears, but it's interesting that you use Jalen Hurts in particular as a added example to Bronny James because to add more to that as well, I remember when they said Lamar Jackson should be playing receiver or running back. This was when he was about to get drafted. And he came out and said, I'm a quarterback. I'm not playing receiver. I'm not playing running back. I play quarterback. All the experts, all the analysts that's been analyzing the game for the last 20, 30 years and was like, nah, he got quick feet. He got quick feet. He should play running back.
Or,
Now look,
or how about or how about the slander LeVar Ball was getting when he wanted his all three of his sons to play in the league? Like what's wrong with that?
right,
Why
right,
can't he have the dream of having his three sons play in the league?
right,
What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? But there
right.
was so much slander against that. It's like what's up with all the pushback with a melanated father wants to see his son succeed in life,
Mm-hmm.
and he was there to mold it and watch it grow. Same thing with Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm. The slander right now on Shador is crazy. It's crazy. Again, not to switch gears. Every top level coach said Shador Sanders is the best quarterback in college football. They've been saying it all season. Now all of a sudden, these experts and analysts are saying, "Oh, he has a second round grade." How?
And
How?
who is these? Who gave these people experts in analytics as they title? Who are these experts? Who are these analysts? Because these same people that said that they're experts and analysts were the same ones that said what's it called, Daniel Jones was next.
Oh God!
You know what I'm saying? These
Right.
are same analysts, but when
Mm-hmm.
they mess up on that, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say nothing about that.
You get quiet.
It get real quiet. But as soon as a Jalen Hurts or a Tua uh messes up, oh, see, we told you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but then if it's Daniel Jones, now he need a full season. He need 2 seasons to develop. But when it's us, oh, we need to see we need to see results right away.
Right.
Like, come on, dog. Stop
Right.
it.
Right. I can't imagine if Jalen Hurts was on a 60-yard run by himself and just fell and then fumbled. I can't imagine the slander on that because that's what Daniel Jones did. Daniel Jones used to do some of the wildest stuff. So again, the slander is crazy. You got to give these young, like, I don't think most people realize these kids are 19, 20 years old, 21 years old. You got to give them some time to cook. You got to give them some time to develop. Most people that's talking on your regular job, at your regular job, you're nowhere near as good on years later than you was that you nowhere near that you was on the first day to years later.
Oh,
You got
he's young, cat. He can't read the playbook like you can. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to go in there with you, bro. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start. He likes to do his own thing, talking about reading the play. He does what he likes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the slander on Bronny James has got real quiet. Continue to ball out, young man. Continue to just do you, man, and don't worry about anybody else for real. Because he's a 55th pick in the draft. Let me know who was the first player in this year's draft. Most people can't tell me who was the first overall drafted player in this year's draft. He's the 55th player, 55th pick player in this draft. His jersey sales has nothing to do with that, meaning in the sense where people are like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that jersey because it's LeBron James' son. They like nobody's doing that because he got one of the highest selling jersey. And if some people's doing it, you can't tell me that every single person that bought Bronny James jersey is only buying it because it's LeBron James' son. Like, let's keep it real. So let these young boys cook. Let these young boys find an identity for themselves and just give it some time. But I like the fact that he's going in and balling. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Robert Johnson served 29 years in prison and for after wrongfully being accused of murder at 16. At the age of 16, he was convicted of first degree murder, home invasion, armed robbery in connection with the murder of Eddie Binion. Uh, the original sentence was 80 years, despite lack of physical evidence or eyewitness for his conviction. His conviction was based solely, or I wouldn't say solely, but majority of his conviction was based on his co-defendant's criminal history record. What do you think about that?
Like at this point, I'm getting tired of all these sad moments of wrongful convictions. Then it takes 20 years for the wrongful conviction to get overturned. But then you have egregious mishap of law when you have a case like this where the whole testimony and statement is based on your co-defendant. You don't even have no physical evidence. You got nothing. So you based it on the co-defendant that you arrested him with, and you don't expect him to lie. Like, come on, son.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just crazy, son. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's always, again, I don't even want to be that guy, but it always seems like people of melanin is always the on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, they just don't know how to do law. All of a sudden, his lawyer couldn't fight for the case and figure out, like, hey, like, they're not even using none of, they don't got no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
How you lose that case?
Right.
How?
Mm-hmm.
And then even if you lose, why take 20 years to appeal?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you lose the case, it's not the end all be all. You still have remedy. You can still appeal your case all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some years, but it shouldn't take 20 years if your lawyer was really serious about winning this case for you and getting you off.
It was more like 30 because he did 29.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we putting our lives on the line on a complete stranger that don't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our justice system. Half the time the nigga just probably came out of law school and stuff. Like, oh, this is my first case. What? My life is on the line. This is your first case. But this is the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fresh out of law school. His first case is yo, you facing 80 years. You facing 80 years with a guppy as your lawyer.
80 years.
And then they gonna talk about, yo, we got a deal for you. You know what I'm saying? You could take 30. We could give you the 80, but you could take 30.
That's
And
not
your lawyer gonna look at you and go, that's a good deal, son. What?
right. Right.
Meanwhile, he gonna go home on to the next case while you being, you know what I'm saying? 30 years. No, egregious.
This has happened way too many times. And he's 16 at the time, so there was nobody around him to steer him in the right way that even cared for this young kid to go through the system and to be wrongfully accused. On top of that, serving 29 years, it's ridiculous. He's basically lost his life. So now when he comes home, he's coming home to a world that's completely different from when he left. 16 years old. 16. Like, that's wild to me. I mean, he has to be what, 46? So to be in jail from 16 to 46 or 45 is a lot
And
of.
this is just around the time of Clinton when they were doing the harsh penalties. And
Mhm.
especially people of color was getting the most egregious of those harsh penalties.
Mhm.
This is when Hillary Clinton supposedly was calling us super predators or something like that. And it might have been a couple of years ago, but still, anyway, their whole point was like, oh, would they look at us as super predators, so they're gonna give us the maximum on any case that gets brought up against a judge.
Mhm.
Simple case of this one, no evidence. You don't even have the what was it, a murder weapon or something like that?
No, a witness.
No witness, no
Mhm.
nothing.
Mhm.
But yeah, you still get 30 years on that case. That's crazy.
I just never understood cases like that. Like, we've heard this way too many times. I know, jokingly we spoke on the movie Life, where we, even though it was a comedy, it wasn't supposed to be a comedy. The lack of evidence, we see it in the movies, but we see it in real day life. We see it in documentaries. The lack of evidence, the lack of evidence, the lack of murder weapon, the lack of uh the lack of eyewitness, the lack of testimony that have overwhelming, that would shake the reasonable doubt that this person had committed this crime, especially when it comes to murder. Everything is circumstantial. It's like you can't go into the courtroom with a feeling. Yeah, I feel he did it. He give me murder vibes. Or you doing it based on, again, the co-defendant's criminal history record. Like, it's just nasty work. It's like, well, he's guilty by association. To some degree, morality, that could be true, but we're not talking about morality when we're talking about the court of law. It's overwhelming evidence, the evidence of the proof. And the lack of proof snuffed this kid's life for 29 years. At bare minimum, he should be looking at a severe check coming home. And most times, when they know they have cases that are wrong, they don't try to correct it. They wait to see what their lawyers can do to prove the burden. The burden on the proof is on the lawyers. So they can be wrong. They can be wrong and know that they wrong, but they like, yeah, if the lawyer don't prove it, he stays in here. Because now if they prove it, now we got to pay damages. And we don't want to do that, even though we know we're wrong. It's just one kid. What was he going to be anyway? And this is their mindset, bro.
And the damages they paid don't ever even come out their pocket. That's all tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's coming out they pension. It's not coming. It's not like it's coming out they check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The city is paying for it, meaning the tax money is paying that when they wrongfully convict somebody and they have to pay the check out. It's not like it's coming out their pension.
Mm-hmm.
That their bread don't get touched at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like all right, you know what I mean? They don't never feel no fault when they do no wrong like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you start taking away their pension and their bread, I bet you they start looking at the case better and start going harder a little bit better when you start messing with their money.
Mm-hmm.
When you start touching their bread and their pension, now we see. Next time you do a case and years later it come to find out that case was that person got wrongfully convicted for the time that they was locked up, and from the time they came out, that time frame or all that money you done accumulated, you got to pay that man.
Right. Yeah, right. I like that. Mm-hmm. Just like.
Because now you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be held accountable. It's not going to be just on the system. It's going to be on the lawyer itself, because it's not on the system. It's the law. It's the lawyers. It's the ones who, these people are the ones who are manipulating the system. So if you're manipulating the system to get a conviction, and if it doesn't go your way, then you got to pay out your bread. And I bet you they start acting right. I bet you these cases get done right. I bet you they're gonna have the top tier investigators, all types of investigating all types of shit. When you start messing with their money in their pocket,
Mm-hmm.
and they practice, because
Mm-hmm.
they practicing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know the law. They practicing the law. And
Right.
while they practicing, they got you sitting there doing 80 while they practicing.
That would be a fire Black Law dictionary, bro. To practicing, nigga. Practice.
Yeah, that is law. Is they every time they go open up a practice, because they're practicing law.
Mm-hmm.
When do you ever know the law? When you open up a business, when you at the courtroom, when somebody's life is on the line, when do you actually know the law? Because
Mm-hmm.
you've been practicing this whole time.
What if a top tier lawyer say to you in their pitch, like, yeah, I'm the lawyer you need to hire because I don't practice. I know
I only go after esquires.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I deal with. I only deal with esquires. Esquires know the law. I don't deal with people who practice law. I deal with people who know the law. I only deal with esquires. Other than that, don't talk to me. I don't talk to attorneys at law. No. Because you only practicing, bro.
Esquire.
Only esquires.
Yo, this is wild work. I kind of forget where I was gonna go with this, but oh man, this in particular is going to continue to be nasty work. But I hope, because remember, that's where I was going with it. It was a series, the series Atlanta stars Donald Glover. They had an episode similar like that where, you know, they was giving reparations to the culture, and you know, and if your family benefited from slavery and you live in a mansion, guess what? You have to give that family your house. You got to give that family your car. You got to give that family your crib, you know, the money that you have in the bank, you got to run it, or you got to pay it reparations. So they had a scene where all the people that worked at the, you know, at the restaurant, they getting their check, and then they had a deduction on their check outside of taxes, which was like a reparations deduction or whatever. And I just found that so interesting because even though that they was talking about race, we're talking about people who are in position to make decisions that negatively affects this person's life. So imagine if we was able to go after people's pension when they was a part of this, even if their family member did it, because their money is a direct reflection on your lifestyle. So imagine living this lifestyle, but your great grandfather is sent 20 people to jail, whether they was cultured or not, but it was wrongfully convicted. And now that family is basically struggling because they got to pay damages back, to the family that impacted their life. So can you imagine that system if we lived in that system?
Yeah, I bet you a lot of them will do right because win or lose, they still get paid. So where's the incentive for them to do right? There is none.
That's a fact. I
Why
like.
would I hire you?
Mhm,
Why would I hire you if there's no incentive for you to win? My case. When win or lose, you still get the bread.
mhm,
I gotta pay you regardless if we win or lose or not. We don't even know if we're gonna win or lose, but I still gotta pay you first.
mhm.
On the happenstance that we might win or lose the case.
Because
So
one
what
thing.
business model is that?
Mhm,
Where I pay you before I even know that the product is good or not. I'm paying you on the happenstance that it might be I.
mhm.
Nah, nah, nah. I'm not buying a car on the happenstance that the brakes might be I.
Right.
What? No. But
I,
they finessed us into making us believe that this is the way it's supposed to be. But if you look at it logically, you paying somebody on the happenstance that he might win your case. He might.
right.
No
And-
guarantee that
yeah,
you pay the nigga bread that he gonna
right.
win.
I,
It's no guarantee. I could give you 50,000, I'll still lose. You got my 50K, I'm out 50K, and I'm in jail. I lost twice.
mhm.
And you probably out there sipping daiquiris with my biddy. So I lost 3 times. I'm in jail, lost 50K and my biddy.
Yo, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go by your house and check on her, make sure she's doing all right. Like, yeah, nah.
You want to drop off paperwork and she need to sign something for you. Oh, all
Nah.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna send you out of town. That's what I'm gonna send you.
She come back, I teach her some new tricks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just nasty work, man. It's nasty work. Um, it's nasty work, man. You would think in this day and age that there'll be some changes to our law system that will be more efficient, much more better, much more. Uh, I can't say a better word than efficient, man. Just like it's just nasty work, man. So they said our judicial system is a joke. I agree with Ebony in the building, man. So
It's not a joke. It's the players in the game that make the game seem like it's a joke. So the
mhm,
game is the justice system, and the players are the lawyers, the judges, the prosecutors, the general clerks. All those players in the game are the ones who's fucking up the game and make you think that the justice system is fucked up. But we
mhm,
was never taught how to properly use the justice system in the first place, and we never was taught checks and balances. So all we dealing with is them people who fuck us over in the first place, and then all of a sudden we just think the justice system's fucked up. But we only got one side of it.
mhm,
Obviously, it's gonna be fucked up if we only get one side, and they're the ones teaching us the side. So this is why Black's Law Dictionary, you must have it in your house. Because if you expect them, you gonna pay somebody else to read for you, that's crazy. So you deserve everything you get. Because you're literally paying somebody else to read for you when you could just read it yourself. You
mhm.
don't understand the word, go get the dictionary. You can't get the dictionary, use your iPhone. Chat GPT, something.
Another reason why y'all have to see that movie No Mercy that I mentioned earlier, what he just said, paying somebody else to read for you. Your life is in shambles. Shout out to Leaf in the building. That's family right there. Shout out to Leaf. Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. Um, Yeah, man. Like this, it's just nasty work, and it's designed the way it's designed to funnel a system. Because without people that's, even if it's for small petty things, without that, it would be no need for lawyers. It would be no need for judges and court reporters and all this, that, and the third. So this is a system that feeds on the mindset with the inevitability, because that's what it is. If you put people in certain situations, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen, which makes it easier to have a system that's ran the way it's ran. Have a mindset and a culture where you have these same type of people from era to era, generation to generation, that continues to make these decisions on other people's lives.
So true.
Nasty work. It's nasty work. Nasty work. And then most people don't realize, like, lawyers, the quote unquote lawyers, when they get hired at a firm, their whole purpose is to win. Why do they want to win? Because they want to become partner. And lawyers, and I'm talking like my bro said, lawyers who are esquires. So if they win their case, guess what? The law firm is be like, yo, you winning a lot of case for our company. This matters. The profile of our company is going to be higher, more advertisement, more top tier level clients, millions of dollars. So instead of the company be called, instead of the company is called Moreland and Gibson, Johnson, you got a chance to be Moreland Gibson Johnson. What
Hmm.
you do, baby, you can get a cut of this. And what you think that what you're going to do? Lose? We seen it. I know it's a movie, but you seen it in the mindset in a movie called, another classic movie is The Devil's Advocate, when he was defending a man that he knew that essayed this young girl. He was getting turned on in the courtroom just by the girl talking, and he knew it. So all this is about advancing. It's a system. It's not always the lawyer's job to. You would think because they take the oath that the truth is going to outweigh everything. The first time I ever got into a real courtroom situation, and my mom, my dad told my lawyer, "Yo, this is what the truth is." My lawyer that was paid for looked at me, my mom, and my father and said, "It's not what's the truth, it's what you can prove. This is a court of law, and if you can't prove it, it don't matter." So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh So we've been talking about it. We spoke about it last episode. So instead of an $8,000 stimulus, they have lowered it down to, they have adjusted it to 5,000. So they're talking about giving us a 5,000 stimulus from Doge. Initially, it was supposed to be 9 to 8,000. They settled at 8. Now they down to 5. What do you think about that?
Whether it was 8, 5, 3, 10, it didn't matter. My plan is still the same. You know what I'm saying? The amount doesn't matter. The execution of the plan is all that matters. So whether it was gonna be 5,000, 3,000, 4, it doesn't matter. It's money that I didn't have to work for. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? That I'm getting.
True.
So you know what I'm
True.
saying? My plan still works regardless because extra money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm,
you already taking care of what you're supposed to be taking care of, bare minimum. So you
mhm.
get this extra bread coming in. It's just gonna make your life that much more easier if you know how to manage this little bit of bread. Yes, it's a little bit of bread, but again, you didn't have to work for it, and you didn't have to do no extra. You know what I'm saying? Big
So,
move for it. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
You ain't have to go to the corner and sling no nothing. You ain't have to scam nothing.
mhm,
So this little bit of bread is just a nice opportunity to just get ahead. Not very much ahead, but nice bump ahead. You know what I'm saying? So as
mhm,
long as you plan to execute that, whether it was 8,000, 5,000, that plan should still work regardless of the amount.
mhm. In the chat, they going crazy. They saying that we not getting nothing. Shout out to Deborah in the chat. Shout out to Damaris in the chat. Um, I disagree. We're definitely going to get a stimulus. The fact that they're talking about it level, it picked up too much coverage for them not to give us something. And there's an exclamation point that the Trump team is going to prove, not trying to prove, is going to prove. Trump is showing that he's going to be the most impactful president that we've ever had, regardless if you like him or not. I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm a fan of my general interest and the people that are around me and their general interest, their better interest, and my better interest. But first, bro, it hasn't even been 90 days, and he's making moves like that, like they're making moves strategically that they already had in mind prior to, because he remember he lost the last election. So when these things started happening on on the first day, he's making moves. So being that it picked up this type of coverage, and being that they're talking about everybody and not a particular people, especially for cultured people, because it's for everybody, it's going to happen. We're going to get some money. We're going to get some money. Now, I agree with my bro with the fact where more money makes it better, because you got more money that you definitely, I don't want to say you didn't have to work for, because y'all probably don't even realize it. When you work on your everyday job, 365 days of the year, you're basically going to work at least 160 days for free. When you pay taxes, that's what it equivalates to. So you're basically going to work 160 days a year for free. So I don't want to say that people didn't work for, but it's extra money. And that extra money gonna pay a whole lot of bills. It could give you a lot of security. It could give you a lot of sleepful nights at night, not sleepless. So we're definitely going to get some money. The more money, the better it will help the economy, because the more money that people have, they could really, do what they need to do. The less money, money is money, but at the end of the day, 8 million would be better than five. It would be better than 15 would be better than eight, to keep it all the way a buck with you. But we're definitely gonna get some money. That's something I agree with my brother hands down. We're definitely gonna get some money. And again, extra money is extra money, dog. So that's not act like if you get that money, you're not gonna use it. I've heard people talk in social media and they say, yeah, ain't no reason for us to get that money. All right, so if you don't want your money, sign it over to somebody else who want it. Are you going to do that? Chances you're not. So don't cap like you're not going to use the money for bills or whatever. Am I bugging when I say that, bro? When people acting like they're not going to use it if they get it?
Now, they fine right now, but they know damn well they're gonna use that money. They just mad because they person not in office and Trump is the one doing it. That's
Hmm.
all it is. But at the end of the day, if that check came in the mail, you're not gonna cash it. Stop it.
Hmm.
Like
See,
stop.
See, in chat, they going in about false promises. See, this is not, most people when they talk about politics, it's about their feelings and not their better interests. It's not necessarily, liking the politician. It's not about that. It's about getting stuff that needs to be done. And all we could go by is what is going on. And you have to understand the story of the US, it's about a story, storylines. And the storyline for Donald Trump is to show that he's going to be the most impactful president that we have ever had. I guarantee it. This is not something I want to say, because Donald Trump had a history on helping put young melanated men in jail by taking whole articles and doing a whole slander campaign on them. That was back in the 80s. We in the 2000s, and he's doing moves to help the population. Even if you don't like him, this the things that he's doing benefit you for the better. So you don't have to like the man, but at least be intelligent enough to be involved in your better interests. Shout out to L. Shout out to Ash MW. Badge holder in the building. Shout out to Ash W in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, Raven Simone, actor Raven Simone, talked about dealing with a period of time with dealing with the persona versus her as an actress. She talked about a particular time where she was that she thought because she was overweight at the time that she was pregnant by R&B singer Omarion and just breaking up with her former boyfriend at the time. I think his name was K Young, a R&B singer. What do you think about that?
Man, Raven Simone, get out of here. Nobody cares about you. Like, you are uninterested. You throwing people's name out here to get some clout. Like, get out of here. This shit is corny now. This whole thing about trying to just build something to get your name buzzing again by throwing mud on somebody else, and who knows if that even happened, because nobody even knew y'all even dated or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know until she said it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Even when Omarion during the B2K days, we never even seen y'all interact at all.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, it's like, come on, son, stop. Like, nobody cares. Like, get out of here.
Hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at the situation, right? Because she also spoke on the fact that the guys that used to watch the show used to watch her show because she had big breasts, and I'm
How the
like,
fuck she know that? Who told her that?
I don't know who her circle of friends was, but nah, you know what I mean? Like me and Raven, well, we and Raven is around the same age. I didn't watch That So Raven at all unless my daughter wanted to watch That So Raven. That So Raven wasn't even my show. Yeah, y'all, I had my daughter when I was young. Yeah, I was I was in these streets, at a very young age, and I had her as a teenager. Okay. So anytime my daughter wanted to watch That So Raven, we watched That So Raven. But she never appealed to me. And when I watched the show, I never watched it like, damn, she got big chunkers. I'm like, damn, like my daughter really liked this show. Like that's how I looked at it. So when she speaks on the childhood trauma of being an actress and dealing with all she was dealing with all at the same time, there could be some validity to the trauma that she had to deal with because everything that she was going through, nobody wanted to hear all that when they got on set. They didn't want to hear about her traumas. They paid you for a job, and when you get paid for a job and handsomely, in the real world, people don't want to hear your traumas. They want you to do what you do, and then you do what you do when you leave here. So there's validity in what she's saying as far as dealing with trauma, but all the extra stuff, like being pregnant by the Marion and dealing with this other singer and this, that, and the third. And I know she was trying to make a bigger point with dealing with her own life and having to be an actress, having to be professional, having to be better than, her counterparts. But you signed up for this. It's all a part of the game. Like, let's not act like you didn't grow up around monsters um, in a sense where you grew up around professional actors who was monsters in their craft. So you had access to all types of mentorship. When you talk about the Bill Cosbys, you talk about the Felicia Rashad, you talk about the Erica Alexanders, you talk about uh, um, my God, I can't, the Lisa Bonet. When you're around all these top level actors, just being around them, there's some sort of mentorship that you take from what they're doing in their grown life that you want to apply to the better business of your own. Like we see Kiki Palmer now, where she's been around for a minute, and you could tell that she took that mentorship that she's worked with many different legends and monsters and turned it into her better interest as an actor and learning how to differentiate her acting life and her real life. So I agree with you, bro. And it's just like nobody want to hear all this. It's corny.
That's a fact. Like,
So at the end
nobody
of
want to hear about millionaires complaining. Like, get out of here, son.
so
Like,
at
you
the
got trauma. Whoa, boo hoo. Like,
Mhm.
nobody cares. And
Right.
make a piece of film or TV show that's worthwhile for me to watch. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. Because that's the only reason I know you for.
Hmm.
You're not my man. You're not my shorty. I don't know nothing about from you being on TV.
That's
So
true.
since I know you being on TV,
Hmm.
do something that's good on TV for me to watch. Other than that, I don't care. I don't. Like, why would I care about your trauma? Like, is it a TV show that you're gonna be on? Is it a new series that's gonna be on Apple TV that I need to watch? Is this the part of your method acting for the new show you about to get put on? Oh nah, you don't got no role. So sit down over there. Maybe you need to get back to practicing, get back to acting again, and get these roles popping. But
Or
nobody want to hear them.
and if you're going to use your trauma, then why not use it in a positive way by having your own sort of mentorship that would derail the same pitfalls as your younger counterparts. Or if you're going to play a role that talks about the trauma and learning how to deal with it, because that's what TV shows and movies are about anyway, right? Is watching something that you can identify with and learning how to deal with it. Am I bugging when I say that? When I watched Saved by the Bell growing up, I said, "Oh, like that's how you maneuver two chicks, Zach. Okay, cool. I'm gonna use that into my little repertoire." Or you learn how to fight bullies, or you learn how to deal with situations. So shows matter. Having trauma matters, but what matters most is what you do with it. I'm just saying. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. All right, y'all. Moving on to our last hot topic of the night. NFL great Clinton Portis has now joined the staff with the head coach Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State as their running back coach. What do you think about that?
That's what's up. I'm glad he getting the check. You know what I'm saying? Now he
Mhm.
could instill some of that great knowledge that he done had in his heyday onto the next generation of running backs coming up in the game.
I mean that coaching room is getting real like solid. Like imagine you coming in, you a top level receiver, and your head coach is Deshaun Jackson, learning the tools of the trade. Or you're a running back and you have Clinton Portis as your running back coach. And it's not going to stop there. You're going to have more NFL players going to those schools, and if I'm not mistaken, Ed Reed he's either a part of their coaching staff or Michael Vick's coaching staff at Norfolk State.
I mean, it's just gonna be the smarter play. Like, if niggas don't understand, like, if you don't start doing this more and more, like, you gonna start. You gotta see the bigger play because you're gonna start cutting the NFL out sooner or later down the line because it's gonna be a point where it's like all the old NFL greats once they retire, they're just gonna go back to HBCU and just start coaching, start building up the next program in the next 10 years or the next crop of new athletes, and then sooner or later either the NFL is going to get in part of it or somebody's just going to come up with a whole new league. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, it's just going to be too many of these people in all these schools.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? The money's going to talk. Because you could talk about all this tradition and this, that, and the third, but when somebody got enough cachet and enough capital, that's all that matters at the end of the day. You could keep all this tradition at Ole Miss and all this other goofy shit all you want, but when the money is talking, all that bullshit walk. Because once all these coaches, all these coaches that are coming up and start get these programs really going on, it's gonna take a 1 or 2 seasons, however much however good their draft is to get these kids to come to these schools. Once that happens, Norfolk State, Middle Tennessee State, all these schools gonna start. They gonna start getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the money start coming in, you know what I mean, a lot more people gonna have more access to talk more, and they
Mm-hmm.
talk is gonna be big,
Mm-hmm.
and then you ain't gonna be in a position to shut them up now. Now you're gonna have to listen. Then what? Now it's one what you gonna say back is based on if they want to listen to that or not.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
I think it's great for HSBUs. I mean, just the culture of HSBUs has been terrible. Like the history of HSBUs, as far as talent, is second to none. Second to none. But the support of HSBUs, collegiate athletics, has been absolutely terrible. It's been terrible. And the history showed you have top level coaches and top level players that have always played in HSBUs, but it doesn't get highlighted. So when you got players of these calibers going to these schools, it raises the profile of the school. They must see TV, especially if they start winning, which I think they will. They're going to get the top tier of the high school talent because now high schoolers got to find a way to get into college football now because it's no longer going to be the traditional way unless you're outstanding and through the roof type of player where you go straight from high school to a 4-year school that is that moves the needle. But you're going to have more players get funneled through junior college programs and high schools that's going to go to a D1 AA, D2, junior college. Because now you go play junior college ball, they don't take up none of your eligibility no more. You go play 2 years and then go to a 4-year school, and it'll be like you never lost any eligibility. So the fact that these guys are there, the cachet, and you will hope that the funding is now going to be the next thing because college football is big business. It's bigger than Nino Brown. It's big business. So corporations are starting to buy up colleges. So imagine if a corporation was smart enough to go to a Delaware State or a Tennessee State or a Norfolk State. And because it's Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, Eddie George, I'm sorry, that the funding will be able to rival D1 schools. You see what I'm saying? And it'll be easier to be able to move the money and all this, that, and the third that would locally affect those players and that community. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. This segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. Buy dope photography right now on bigbravosection.com. And if you're in the Miami area, you can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're not in that area, still book that session. They're going to take the train out, not fly. They're going to take the train out and still take care of your session again at Bravo Section, bigbravosection.com. You got petty law force, petty words, petty thoughts.
Check. So this segment is definitely words from the Black's Law Dictionary. So the first word on this list is lien creditor. So it means one whose debt or claim is secured by a lien or particular property, as distinguished from a general creditor who has such a security. A creditor who has acquired a lien on a property involved by uh, an attachment, levy, or the like, and includes an assignee for benefit of the creditors from the time the assignment and the trustee in bankruptcy from the date of the filing of the petition or the receiver in equity from the time of the appointment. All right, lien creditor. Next word is lobbying. So lobbying is all attempts, including personal solicitation to induce legislators to vote in a certain way or to introduce legislation. It includes scrutiny of all pending bills which affect one's interests or the interests of one's clients with the view towards influence the passage or the defeat of such legislation. So if there's certain bills that you want to pass, lobbying is the way to go, but that takes money. So next is appellate. So pertaining to or having cognizance of appeals or other proceedings of judicial review of adjudications. The term has general meaning, and it's a specific meaning indicating that a distinction between general jurisdiction and the appellate jurisdiction. So if you ever had a case that you want to appeal, you
Mhm.
would want to go to appellate court. And last word on the list is admiralty courts, a court exercising jurisdiction over all maritime contracts, torts, injuries, or offenses. Federal district courts have jurisdiction over admiralty and maritime action. So this is where the confusion lies when we go into courts, because we're thinking majority of these courts uh, are courts for our favors, but in actual fact, they're admiralty courts. So your best bet to get any type of remedy is to go to you want to go to equity court.
Mhm.
So that's where you get equal fairness for any type of situation. You want to go to equity court. So that's where you get equal fairness, not admiralty court, which is majority of these courts this lesser courts that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So these words this week are lien creditor, lobbying, appellate, and admiralty courts.
Fire, fire, fire. And again, y'all, for the very next episode, make sure y'all type in some serious words. Don't be jokey about it. Type in some serious words my bro could look up and find for the next episode. Black's Law Dictionary, something y'all need to have. These words have double meaning, and we have to learn these double meanings. We spoke about it earlier with the word practice and the difference between a lawyer knowing and practicing, difference between being a lawyer and an esquire. Learn these words. It has double meaning and it'll be valuable to your life and your family. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment.
Keep the lie alive.
The Lie Live. So, my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is y'all, if you notice the theme of the show, we have to learn how to be still. And this is why I say this, because throughout the show, we've read about people or spoke about people that have gone through situations in their early years, and a lot of it is because they wasn't still. Some people got caught up into the wrong things, following the wrong crowd. We noticing an era right now that look at our young folks as YNs. That's how they look at our young folks, as YNs, which is not a positive thing to be called. It's a very scary and it's a very negative outlook on what you consider the culture, and it's only relegated to melanated people. Our melanated people and people in general have to learn how to be still. Most times when you hear like these kids losing their life way too early, anytime you anything under 29 is way too early. You should not be losing your life senselessly at all. But 29 is ridiculous. 35 is ridiculous. 40 is ridiculous. But most of our younger folks, they losing their life and they going down a path where they don't even know what to live for, because they haven't learned how to be still. They haven't learned how to assess a situation and maneuver from a situation. So our culture has to learn how to be still. This era has to learn how to be still, because they're going to jail at an alarming rate. They're murdering at an alarming rate. And the reasoning is for nothing. The foundation of it is out of feelings. So anytime you do anything to negatively affect your life out of feelings is always going to be terrible. Because by the time you get to 35, by the time you get to your 40s, and you realize you done wasted time, time is the most expensive thing that us as human beings, as individuals, that we own. You don't need $1 million when you have time. And if you use your time in the worst way, you lose your money. That's how you lose money, is not delegating your time properly. So our culture, our era has to learn how to be still, learning not to crash out, learning not to make decisions again out of feelings, following people that in the next 5 years you won't see them another day in your life. When I think of myself growing up as a little kid and being outside and doing some things I had no business doing at a very young age, might I add, I haven't seen some of these people since. Last time I seen some of these people was when I was 11, when I was 12. I'm 40 now. That's a long time. And these people are wherever they at in life. And I'm here, luckily, doing well, leaning on my faith with God, leaning on my faith with knowledge, leaning on my faith with understanding, leaning on my faith with the fact that I can learn from my mistakes and learn from others' mistakes. So this era has to learn how to be still. What do you think about that, bro?
It's gonna be a hard task because they bombarded with so much outward distractions, and it's just easily triggered. They're easily triggered, easily distracted. So um not saying that it can't be done, but it's just gonna be a hard task.
Mhm. I agree, but you know me, bro. We have to at least try. And by me saying this, somebody's going to hear this and they're going to implement it. So even if it doesn't go to every single person, it's going to go to one or two people that's going to be like, you know what? I need to be still. I need not to crash out. I need to stay where I'm at right now so that way I can make a better play moving forward. And that's my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. Y'all, I want to thank y'all for tapping in on this Sunday edition. The show is growing at a rapid rate. We appreciate y'all helping us rise. Continue to tell a friend to tell another friend. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. Tap into the membership portion of this page. Links is in the bio, different memberships, different access, over 300 and something videos of this podcast on this channel. So it's plenty of videos to watch, share, and comment. Great for conversational starters with your friends, families, and even coworkers or significant other. We'll be talking about that ish from every gamut of life and worth. I wanted to shout out to some of our sponsors, Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my brother on his Instagram at.
Bravo section underscore.
So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. Also, tap into the Overstand podcast on this channel every Monday at 9:30. While understand where you can overstand every Monday at 9:30. We also got some cool features coming out. I just got these stickers. We about to have some stickers sent out to some of our well, not some of our, everybody that's a member in the chat, everybody that's a member for the podcast. Make sure y'all hit us up, and we'll make sure y'all get a complimentary sticker of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I don't know if y'all can see it that well, but make sure y'all hit us up, and we'll make sure we hook y'all up. Again, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. So again, we got to 10,000 real smoothly. We almost had 11,000 already in a span of like a couple of weeks. So again, help us to get to 20K subs for this channel. Uh, got new music coming out, so be on the lookout for the new music. I'm also going to be making up some changes because I'm not feeling iTunes. I'm not feeling Spotify. They just don't give the proper cut to artists. So I'm going to be looking to move my music to my own app and let y'all get it off the app by itself. So, and it's going to be a fire app. You get all the music and not just my music, also some of my artists as well too. So be on the lookout for that. But in the mean in between time, type in Ashley Lovechild anywhere where you listen to music and check out the music, man. I make some fire music, so make sure y'all tap into that. I know my brother want to tap into his website.
BigBravoSection.com. Tap in.
Tap in. We'll be back this Thursday. We're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30. You already know what time it is, man. It's love, and we see y'all this Thursday at 10:30. We out.